Hi guys, my name is Cortland Jacoby and I am here for Punch Drunk Critics. And I'm here with the team behind the Independent Spirit Award winning film 7 Days, which hits theaters this Friday. Director and co-writer Roshan Sethi and co-writer and star Karan Soni. Thank you so much for speaking with me.
Thank you for having us.
What a great intro. That was a mouthful.
You know, I get it with my name too, so I feel you. So this film focuses in on two people who are on a first date for an arranged marriage set up by their traditional mothers who have, and the couple then has to shelter in place because the pandemic starts. I read that you guys wrote the film together while in quarantine for some sort of stimulation, which I totally understand. Obviously, the film wouldn't have been possible if not for the pandemic, but did any part of this story exist before March of 2020?
Yeah, the arranged marriage part of it and the meeting people through these websites was something that we had just talked
We'd never
about.
written it down.
Yeah, just wanting to explore, just because we thought that world was so funny, but we could never figure out like what to do with it, how to do anything. And then really when we were coming up with the idea for what should this movie be, which we worked sort of in reverse, which was through the limitations of probably can't have too many actors, probably can't have too many locations. So we were like, okay, it's looking like it's going to be sort of contained in this way. Like, what is the kind of story we can tell? And then suddenly one day we were like, what if it's, a date gone bad and then they're stuck together and it's like this whole thing. And so then that kind of naturally became what it was.
I love that. Karan, your co-star is Geraldine Viswanathan, who is you guys are great on Miracle Workers. I'm such a huge fan of that show. You obviously have a familiarity with one another. How does that factor in when playing two characters that go from strangers to adversaries to friends to maybe something more? How did your friendship help the evolution of that relationship?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think it helps so much. We keep talking about how we can't imagine having made this with anyone else. We wrote it with her in mind and not, again, sure, we were in such a sensitive time where we were like, do people feel even comfortable working and stuff like that? So we were really hoping she would do it, partially because she's so talented and amazing. And I knew that firsthand, and that we knew each other from before and we didn't have any rehearsal period really, because we were really like kind of running and going pretty fast. But also because the movie was made without the usual bells and whistles of Hollywood, where there was no trailers. There was like, we were shooting 15 pages of dialogue a day. And so there was a heat wave where we were filming. It was 118 degrees every day. The house didn't have air conditioning. So it's just harder when a complete stranger is coming into that situation. But Geraldine was like kind of cheering us on throughout because she knew Roshan socially as well. And she was always sort of like proud of us to be like, you guys are making a movie during this time. It's so crazy. And she would just jump in and like, would be like, how can I help? What can I do? And then for us as actors, it was really interesting because Miracle Workers is tonally so different, which is so fun. And the writers often call the show a cartoon, which I think is very true and is becoming more and more of a cartoon as it goes on. But this was very different, in terms of like the kind of material. And often we were doing like, a funny scene and then a serious scene and then a funny scene. And so we really got to explore as actors, just like, the other side of it, which is just really being grounded and doing a lot of material very quickly, almost like a play. And so that was really fun to get to do a different thing with her.
So you fixing the fan was like method. You were actually trying to get that fan.
Well, that fan was unfixable. That fan was unfixable.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that fan hadn't been used in 20 years.
Yeah.
One thing I love about this movie is the costumes. Obviously, Ravi is sheltering in place. He doesn't have any clothes. So he wears Rita's, which I love. Was that written into the script, the specific quotes on the shirt? And like, how did that come to be? How did you choose? Because I assume since the movie was so small, it was just kind of you guys making those decisions.
No, that was really Karan's idea to have him wear her clothes and it be funny. And then he sourced, along with Deborah Baker Jr., who's a voice in the movie, a very talented actress, and then also helped design the costumes, but they were sourced from her personal wardrobe. And then so many of those shirts, like I think Radical Body Love,
they're all hers,
and are hers. And then Rent the Runway for a few other places, like especially Geraldine Sorry that she wears at one point in a dream sequence.
Yeah, it was literally it's like, we all have that one friend who has their best t-shirts. And I was like, well, if we end up keeping this in the script, like I know exactly what to do. And then it was at a time again in COVID, it was like September 2020. I like from 6 feet apart, she like
What's the
lifted
queso
up
one?
queso queen.
Queso
Queso
She
queen,
like
yeah.
lifted up all these shirts and I'd be like, queso queen, yes. And then she
Yeah,
just
Deb is so funny.
she like in a
Just-
suitcase just threw the suitcase towards me and she was like, just bring these back washed.
It's
And
really incredible that she
Yeah.
just shows her taste.
it's so
Yeah,
good.
sure.
And there's so many that didn't make it in. There were
There's
so many
so many good
others that
ones.
like we
Yeah.
couldn't fit in, but yeah, she has all the t-shirts. Yeah.
I also love that you're wearing that like pink. I think it was like a unicorn or something on it for like.
Yeah, that's Geraldine.
That's Geraldine's.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Wolf is Geraldine's. Well, Geraldine wears
Yeah.
it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. There was a lot from Friends.
Yeah, they both have eccentric styles. So
Mhm.
This year marks the 10th anniversary of Safety Not Guaranteed, which you were in, Karen.
Yeah.
And I believe that was when you first worked with Mark Duplass, am I
Yes,
right?
that
Okay.
is yeah.
And who also produces this film and has a small vocal part as Daddy.
he's the daddy of this movie. Yeah.
Daddy. So I think that the best things that have come out of the pandemic, media-wise, have the Duplass stamp on it, from language lessons to Somebody Somewhere, which was so great. And then now 7 Days. What do you think? Well, talk to me a bit about working with the Duplass brothers, and then why do you think everything they make is just good?
Well, I think what they're amazing at is like going against like the traditional Hollywood route, which is a lot of development, a lot of waiting to make something with way more money than maybe you need. So you can have a lot of the luxuries of shooting slowly and having a trailer, which is amazing and great. But in their sense, like what they're amazing at is like, they're like, we just want to make things and not have to wait as long.
Right.
And then not have as many cooks in the kitchen. So for example, in this case, we sent it to them and they were the perfect people to be like, it seems impossible to make an independent movie right now. And they were like, we'll find a way. And then especially with someone like Roshan, like, and what they do all the time is they empower people to do roles that they've maybe never done before, because I think their philosophy is that they know you've been waiting to do it for a long time and that you'll work 10 times as hard as the person who's maybe gone to do it 100 times before. And you're not working for a lot of money up front, but like you're putting in like 10 times the amount of work. And so with him, for example, directing the movie, they never questioned it. They were just like, great, go and let us know how we can support you. And I think that's the more money that gets involved in Hollywood, the more fear comes in a lot of times, and can often make you make not the best decisions, I think, when you're operating out of fear. And they kind of operate in a very fearless way, which I think
And
is
the other secret to them is the people they work with, including Mel Eslin, who runs their company and finds all of these projects, language lessons and 7 Days both very much have her stamp on them. And then Liz Cardenas, who Mel actually found and was the real magic behind the movie in terms of making it actually happen.
Mhm.
So they're very good, like Karan said, at empowering people. And the people they've empowered at the top of their company are doing an extraordinary job of developing all of this stuff. And they're prolific.
Yeah.
Creating shows and movies in a way that production companies that are much, much bigger with
Don't do.
huge overall deals do not do. But they're not precious about any of it. They make stuff, they go with their gut instinct, they tell stories that are utterly human, and they move us all.
And in the notes process, when we just did one pass of notes for them, and they never,
They're
if
so
anything,
hands-off,
they were
yeah.
like, be more specific with the Indian cultural things. And we never got the note, which we have gone other times with different things of trying to make it more universal, quote unquote. They never sort of shied away from like what the script was when it came to them. And then in fact, like encouraged us to like go deeper with all of that stuff, which was really empowering and cool.
That's awesome. For my final question, I mentioned before that you guys wrote the script together. What was the best part of working together throughout the entire process?
Well, we're a couple, so it's so nice to see what the other person is capable of creatively. And it's a different form of intimacy to see how funny he can be, and to work and to create something together. One of the joys of partnership is creating something together. You experience the highs and lows together. So
yeah, and it came at a time, this working on this movie got us through 2020 in many ways,
and 2021
and 2021,
kept going.
and even now we've gotten to travel and do things together, and then it's wonderful to get to share joy and success with someone else versus it just being alone in many ways, and more and more like I'm realizing that and gravitating towards that, where like it's just so much better when you have a team of people that you're all celebrating together. And especially when that person is also your partner in life, like it's can be very special when we get to do something like this, which is, get to talk to you and other people that have watched the movie and are connecting to it. It's so special for us because it feels like we were able to make something together that maybe is decent. I don't know.
It's more than decent. It's really, really good. You guys won an award for it, so I feel like it's better than decent. Guys, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been a real pleasure.
Thank you.
So nice meeting you.
Thanks for checking out the show. If you like what we're laying down, please subscribe to our channel and click the bell to receive notifications for all of our latest stuff.